Welcome back to another tier list. I know you've been waiting, and I've been keeping you waiting. I'm sorry. Just gotta get through some stuff, but we're back. We're back in the Blood Bowl 2, and you know who I got? I got a special guest once again. Special guest, introduce yourself for the third time.
Oh, my name is Shindanas. Hello, everybody.
Yep, so we have Sindana's back, and coming up with this new section of the tier list, we have the humans. The human race, just to detail the roster a bit, they have the generic lineman with a 6338 stat line with general normals. They have the catcher, which is a 70k cost for 8 movement, 2 strength, 3 agility, and 8 armor value, and comes with dodge and catch, which is pretty nice. You got the throwers. It's 3 agility, 3 strength, but you give them pass and sure hands. Throwers have gotten better with the changes to passing that they did, but the throwers are kind of in Blood Bowl 2, besides the passing ability, of course. Then you have blitzers, you get 4 of them, and these are like the backbone of any human team. The 7338 stat line, and you have general and strength as your normals. And then your final character is an ogre, which there are the ogre team, but for this one, you just get 1 ogre. And the stats are for 130 cost, you get 5 movement, 5 strength, 2 agility, and 9 armor value. And you get strength on your normals. And it comes with a litany of big guy abilities that usually does. And also, the humans have cheap rerolls. So, to get into my take on a little bit about the humans, they're like the standard. Really, they're kind of higher tier, but not like crazy high tier. But they are the standard. They can do just about anything. Master of none, but can do anything. So personally, just to get off right at bat, I think human would probably be A, right below Dark Elf. But I think right around there. What do you think, Sim?
I firmly believe the Bretonnian is just slightly better than humans, so I want to put them slightly below Bretonnian, but essentially the same tier. Like, there is a distinguishing thing between the line between Bretonnians and Dark Elves, right? And that's like it's an ability to win games spontaneously. So Chorfs deny your ability to win spontaneously. All the elves can win spontaneously. Chaos and dwarves both fall into the like deny your spontaneity thing, and Chaos also can win spontaneously. Humans and Bretonnians lack that, but they're like ultra consistent. I just think that the humans are essentially a slightly weaker Bretonnia, and that they, as a result, should be placed at least on the same tier as them.
All right. Well, I'll disagree with you, just because I think with the blitzers and the catchers, right off the bat, you have just about 8 blodge pieces you can implement on your team, just right off the bat, which is something that Bretonnian only has 4 of. And I think this the general around is sure, like the Bretonnian linemen, they do have fend, which makes them less useless, but it's also just you only
the
for
human lineman is not to be disrespected.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's why I know the Bretonnian linemen, they have fend that like covers some of their weaknesses, but the human lineman is pretty legit. It's super cheap and has great stats for that value. So that's why I'm just saying I personally think I would have humans in A tier. So
What the fuck, bro? All right, sorry, apologies.
it's probably be one we're gonna disagree with. But
I think that's fine. Having some disagreements is fine. I don't like that they're separate tiers, but that's fine by me. It's okay. It's an okay placement. Between Dark Elves and Bretonnians, or between Bretonnians and Dark Elves is fine. Or rather, the versa.
all right. Well,
Like, in that zone is... You're not saying C and I'm saying S, so it's not a real, like...
yeah,
stance.
like crazy one. Yeah, we both like agree that they're like average to higher average.
They're consistent as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like... Humans are, like, good as shit in the hands of a great player. And they're a great team to learn the game on. So if you just pick up Blood Bowl 2 and you're like, I'm just going to play humans, that is a super valid choice at every end of the spectrum, and you can qualify. Lots of humans qualify every season.
Any TV, they're good. So
Yeah.
So that's fine. All right, we'll move on to Khemri then. So to give it about Khemri is a very interesting team, and I'm very disappointed that they're not in Blood Bowl 3 because I like
they can be gone, bro.
well, I just think they're interesting because They have a soup. All right. So before describing the team, essentially they have a theme where essentially they're useless at actually playing the game of Blood Bowl, but they're fun to not play the game properly.
They're a kill team that's bad at killing.
So, yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I'll get into characters because like I do have a complaint about a certain character, which I don't understand why they gave him that nega trait. But anyway,
Don't talk about the mummy. The mummies are the only good part of the team.
no, but I don't. Let me talk. All right, let me get through it, please. Before I get into the part. All right. So first you have the skeleton, and I actually like the skeletons. I personally think the skeleton. Most people would, but skeletons over zombies any day of the week. They're just better value. They're better buck for your value. So for 40k, you get 5 movement, 3 strength, 2 agility, and 7 armor value. And you have just the general normal access. And then you have your throw raw, which is your quote unquote ball handler, with 70,000 cost, 6 movement, 3 strength, a whopping 2 agility once again, and that's your ball handler. And then you got 7 armor value, but it has general and passing is your normals. This is like alright. And then it has for skills, pass, regeneration, and sure hands. So it's the ball handler because it has sure hands. You're not going to be passing to anyone. You got your blitz raws, which is actually a pretty decent unit. It's essentially just a white, but it's a white with agility too. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay. So problem, they don't know what the fuck a white is. Second off, this is the first time we've had regeneration. We should probably talk about it because regeneration is important. This is a huge mechanic.
Fair enough.
Do you want to cover it or do you want me to?
I mean, you can cover it. Just let me get through the roster first.
Okay.
So anyway, last is the Tomb Guardians. You get 4 of them. It's essentially the mummy that is on undead, but you get 4 of them, and it has the mummy stats, which are 4 movement, 5 strength, 1 agility, and 9 armor value. And then it has strength on its normals. The one thing I wanted to point out about the Tomb Guardians is that honestly, Khemri is like so they're awesome, the Tomb Guardians. I don't know why they have decay, to be honest. That's the complaint I have. Like why like this team isn't great. They're not gonna break any records. Why do the Tomb Guardians have decay? That's my only point. Like why do they have decay? But I'll let you get into it, Sin. What do you want to
for regeneration?
Yeah, regeneration.
So regeneration is a trait unique to teams that have undead characters on them. Vampires, ghouls, skeletons, zombies, right, etc., etc. Regeneration, you don't get how do I phrase this? Jesus, I'm sniffing. You do not get a apothecary. So when you get injured, you have a chance to just regenerate instead of taking the injury.
Yeah, it's a 4 dice and higher, and then you can regenerate and not take the injury, which it's a lot better.
You can also kill the enemy team player and regenerate them as zombies for you, or skeletons, depending on the team.
Yeah, and regeneration is a lot better than apothecary, because apothecary is just a randomized roll to re-roll your casualty roll. Regeneration basically says, which if you don't roll the 4, then yeah, tough tooties, but it's a lot more consistent. It's a lot better thing to have than just having a apothecary.
The apothecary is a sniper. The necromancer, which is what gives you access to regeneration, is like getting shot in the toes repeatedly. It's it feels really bad when you have this really built-up star player. Like your gutter runner is level 8. He's really buff, and you're like, rah! And then he gets punched one time by a kill chaos, and you're like, fuck! And he dies, and you're like, fuck! And then he goes up as a zombie, and you're like, well, not kill chaos, right? But like by like a kill white or something. And he's like, fuck, he's dead! And he comes back as a zombie, and then you see his name as the zombie's name, and you're like, this is tragic. It's a very interactive and fun mechanic. And it makes undead teams very sturdy.
Yep.
It's very hard to kill an undead player.
Yeah, so going back to Khemri, I would probably put Khemri either behind Amazon and C or above Goblin and D. Where would you put Khemri?
D is fuck, bro. It's like unplayable garbage, and like Amazon is playable. So
Okay.
Khemri is as a team that is designed to stall the game out 1-0. That is not acceptable unless you're bearded and 4'2", i.e. the dwarves and the chaos dwarves. It's just really like it's hard to justify that. That's all.
No, yeah, I was just going C or D. I mean, low C,
No,
high
D
D.
is fuck.
All right, yeah, just
But
because.
when I meant undead, I mean like undead units, like guys with regeneration.
Yeah, no, but yeah.
So like vampires are undead, all that kind of stuff. So like, when I say undead, I'm talking about in the Warhammer sense.
I think Khemri has some interesting use, but yeah, it's not really a team you would want to.
Oh, can I speak
play
on the mummies
for
for like 2 seconds?
Yeah, sure.
The mummy is so fucking good.
Yeah, yeah.
You get so many of them. There's so much strength on that team. You can punch anybody you want. They're bad at it. It's the problem. Because God forbid they get punched and they go down.
Yeah, Decay.
You're getting like minus strength, minus strength. You're like, oh well, I'm dead. Like this player's just useless.
Yeah, Decay is so crippling, and we haven't talked about Decay yet, so I'll let you know what Decay is. So essentially, what Decay means, and it's I don't even know what the devs were smoking thinking of this, because this just sounds absurd. So Decay, whenever your armor breaks, what Decay means is that your injury roll, you do 2 of them instead of 1, and then you take both results, which is just absurd. Which means you could really lose a Tomb Guardian easily. Like, easily. You would unimaginably, just because of that
they have good armor.
one nega trait, yeah.
So it's the reason why it exists, by the way, is because it is thematically correct. Tomb Guardians in the lore, when they start to like lose their magical binding, they just disintegrate. They go from fully functional, unkillable monsters, they're all immortal, to if you degrade their morale enough, right? At least in some of the stuff, if you degrade their morale enough, they will just decay and die. They will disintegrate.
All right,
so they go from perfectly functional to just falling over dead in 30 seconds.
I guess fair enough.
And that's why. It's because the Khemri themselves, right? The Khemri are like these undead people that have lived millennia. And then randomly just die in the middle of battlefields. Like, they have to have a reason to die, and Decay is that reason.
Yep.
Which has to do with their magical binding and what.
Alright, well, I guess Khemri will be where it is. We'll move on to the best team in the Blood Bowl, baby. The Kislev Circus. I don't care about no frogs, no Slon. This was the greatest reskin of all time, baby. The Kislev Circus is a bunch of chads doing their leaping and jumping. Oh my goodness. Alright, anyway, before I start saying stupid things. So the Kislev Circus, essentially, their theme is that they have 2 skills. They have Leap, which is usually not on many unless you have Agility 4, and Very Long Legs, which validates Leap a tad, and also helps with interceptions. So the linemen are the human linemen, but for 10k more you get their signature Leap and Very Long Legs, which is honestly not worth 10k. But the next player is the catcher, which is actually very interesting because for 80k cost you get 7 movement. Wish that was 8 because you still have the 2 strength. You have 4 agility though and 7 armor value, and you get the general and agility normal access, and then you also get dive and catch along with their normal Very Long Legs and Leap. Then you get 4 of those, and then you get 4 blitzers. Now the blitzers are really expensive for absolutely no reason. Besides their dice rolls.
Absolutely no reason.
But I'm gonna just say, like, they're like, I would take Human Blitzer a million times out of 10 over this Blitzer. But this Blitzer costs 110k, really expensive. He's
much more mobile.
No, he has the same. Well, he has the jump up, which is actually a good trait, and he
also has Leap and Very Long Legs.
Diving tackle, yeah. The leap and very. I'm gonna get in my rant real quick about leap and very long legs. So, and then but his normal dices are general agility and strength. So other than vampires, he has that normal grouping, which vampires have too, which is a very good stuff. And they don't have the bloodlust trait, so it's nice. And then the last player and the main character of Kislev is obviously the Tame Bear, which is just a reskinned Kroxigor, and its stats, which we're gonna get into with the next team, Lizardmen. But its stats are 140k cost, 6 movement, 5 strength, 1 agility with 9 armor value, with strength as normals, but it has the skills Prehensile Tail, Mighty Blow, Thick Skull, Bonehead, and Loner. And the reason why I want to point it out is just because it's the same as the Kroxigor skills. And Kroxigor and I guess by comparison, the Bear are some of the better big men guys in the game.
It is the de facto best big man in the game.
Yeah, so it's good to pick that up. So
if I could have a team of 6 Kroxigor, I would pick a team of 19 of them. They're very strong.
All right, so So I love Kislev. Kislev is the most fun team I have playing with on Blood Bowl 2. But that's probably because I'm a masochist, and even with all like the sports teams, I like that's like also bad. So like I kind of just like inflicting punishment on myself. But
well, at least all of your sports teams had like one good run.
I mean, yeah, in the '60s for the Jets. But anyway,
segregation bowl out here.
Yeah. So Kislev, their main trait is the leap and very long legs, and the reason why that is not good is because the only timing you should ever be really using a leap is at the end of your turn after you do all your like normal actions. That it's kind of like you should look at leap and very long legs like a dodge. It's better to use leap and very long legs than a dodge if you're Kislev, right? But just because it's better to use it on Kislev doesn't mean it's good. It's just like a band-aid for a boo-boo that doesn't exist. Also, since all the players are 3 agility besides the Tame Bear and Catcher, the only great unit that leap and very long legs is on is the Catcher, and that's like the only. It's the only reason why the Catcher is any decent too, because for 7 movement and 2 strength, this piece would be useless if it didn't have the leap and very long legs trait, which I don't see things compensating other weaknesses as a good thing. That's just like, something to be there. So honestly, Kislev is C tier, right along Amazon. I love their blitzers normals. I love the Tame Bear. The Catchers are unique, and the team is fun because of all the uniqueness, but they're just, if you go down to like Blood Bowl team, is it good? Kislev, not really. So they're like, I'll put them above Amazon because I'm a salty. I'm a salty little girl, but I'll
okay.
So
I agree with the placement. I agree with the placement. Straight up raw. Agree with the placement. I want to talk about the strengths of this team because they are unique and they are very strong in that niche. There is nowhere fucking safe from the goddamn Kislev. These fucking Russian fucks, these Elsa Queen having bastards, can break any cage in the fucking game for free.
Yeah.
Dog, Leap is so good. When I was talking about mobility, Leap is so fucking crazy. Because you just don't care. Dude, you don't give a shit. Did I mark you? Don't give a shit. Bye. Like, it's so disgusting. And I disagree firmly with not leaping before the end of your turn. You finish all the actions that don't require you to leap, for sure. Like, a basic tackle. A basic tackle without block is a lower chance than leaping on this team. Just for the record. So, take that how you will. The fucking blitzers are disgusting. They're disgusting. You leap behind my cage, you mark my guy. If I can't push you off for whatever reason, because level ups, you're like sticky. You have diving tackle, which like diving tackle shits on my dodge. It's so frustrating to play against a really good Kislev coach because they just lock you down. Like, a good Kislev coach doesn't give a shit how real your cage is. If you're zoning out, you just get hoed. You just get hoed. Your strength 2 guy is super good. He's very mobile. He's able to get the ball and get out with like very little problems. Where it comes in is like when people try to play Bash Kislev and it just like they get shit on because they're just not a bashy team. You need to minimize blocks by using your leaps, using your dodge. Like you need to move around a bunch, and you got to be like budget elves. And it's unfortunate, but that's the play style.
Yeah, but that's
Kislev is very strong when you play to its strengths.
Here's the problem with Leap being.
Plus, they have the big guy that's actually good. Sorry, go ahead.
Leap does have its benefits, but like, would you rather have Leap or would you rather have an elf that just has the 4 agility?
Statistically,
yeah,
the three with the reroll is better than 4.
Oh yeah. Well, nothing puts hair on your chest when you fail a leap twice on a reroll.
That shit does that. I've seen you literally get salty about that. Turn 1, this man's like, I leap, and he just fails his first action, double snake eyes and shit. I'm like,
it puts hair on your chest, man.
Oh yeah, it makes you a man. There's nothing more salt-inducing. Actually, that's not true. You ever intercepted with a tree?
No, that sounds crazy.
I've intercepted with a tree, and I've also leaped with a tree.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, this is Kislev's placement. I don't want to talk about him that much. I love playing him. If you ever want to like play a fun team, I
think Kislev is worth talking about. Just because it's low tier doesn't make it not worth talking about.
No, we talked about it enough though. That's what I mean.
I don't know. I just think that it's like I think it's a very fun team that like has like its respect. Kislev is a very fun team and it's very good.
Which is why I was gonna say if you're gonna play. Like, if you want to play a fun team, play Kislev. Like,
for sure.
I have a lot. They're my favorite team to play, so you know, it's.
Chat, play Kislev. It's good. It's fun.
All right.
Next up is one of my favorite teams.
Oh yeah, I love the Lizardmen too. Blood Bowl 3, they're my favorite team to play.
I still need to play that. God damn it. You gotta figure that shit out.
Yeah, we'll see. So next team is the Lizardmen, and just to go through a quick thing of the roster, their linemen are the things called the Skinks. The Skinks are.
That's not true. The linemen of the source. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I mean, you know, the linemen, you know, the ones you get the loners for. The loner, your journeyman.
Oh, then, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I count as the line. Anyway, you got 60k costs for 8 movement, 2 strength, 3 agility, and 7 armor value with only agility as its normals, but you get stunty and dodge, which essentially means most tackle zones you can dodge in and out of with pretty good success. The next and the backbone of any Lizardman team are the Saurus. The Saurus are 80,000 cost, which is actually relatively cheap with a awesome base stat value of 6 movement, 4 strength, 1 agility, which is, you know, you're not going to carry anything with them unless you get lucky on your rolls or give them some weird abilities. And then you have 9 armor value with general strength as your normal access. And then we talked about the Tame Bear. I gave you the stats. That's the same as the Croxagore. So with 60k rerolls, this Lizardman team. So I've heard throughout the community they use a very good comparison. It's like the yin and yang. You got the fast skinks. You can use some of them for marking, but most of the time use your ball carrier. And your Saurus are basically, you know, you put the bruisers up front, make sure you have a good cage. You know, so good cages. Lizardmen are great at their cages with the Saurus and the Croxagore. And even the Croxagore and the Saurus have great movement, so the Skinks won't never really need to like shoot past them, outrun them. You can usually keep that cage pretty well formed, you know, depending on the team you're facing. Lizardmen are straight up a really good team. With that, they don't have a passing game, but that doesn't really matter that much. I would put them.
Fuck a passing game. I have Saurus, bro.
I'd put them somewhere in S, but I'd like to hear your opinion.
I will put them the very top of A.
Very top of A. All right, I'll put them bottom.
So Lizardmen are inherently a race that wins and gets in the highest levels every season, and then gets shit on by the teams that just do it but better. And that those teams being specifically Skaven and Wood Elf. When it comes to the Skink, which is your primary unit, the unit that wins you all 100% of your games, the Skink is just a shitty gutter runner and a shitty Wood Elf War Dancer.
Which isn't a bad thing.
Which is not a bad thing. A Walmart version of those is still the best unit on any of the teams we've talked about today. The Skink is, of the teams that we're going to talk about today, flat done, it is the best unit. It is actually, dead serious, the best unit we've talked about so far. Unfortunately, there are issues that pervade this team and stop it from winning against guys that are, on paper, shittier than them. I'm bigger and stronger than the elves, but they're faster than me and they can pass. I'm faster than the elves, but they're bigger than me and they're stronger than me. Like, it's just, you lose one way or the other versus both the elves. Versus the Chorfs, they have a skill advantage on you early and late game. High TV, they can shit on you damage wise because they have more efficient kill pieces than you do. And all it takes is one good Chorf hit to like kill your best player. Chaos same way, Dwarf same way. So it's like you probably will win the game versus the Chaos and the two Dwarf teams, but you're not getting out of there safe. Hell, they might kill your Croxagore. Like, Lizardmen is a team that just is super good, but they need time to ramp up. And in the context of the highest level of this game, right, which is done through the champ ladder, the champ ladder does not promote the play style that Lizardmen are under. In an Eternal format, Lizardmen may be a top 1 to 3 team in that range. Probably closer to 3-4, but
yeah, because it's a lot more balanced for the Eternal Leagues, where it's not, the ramping up isn't as required. Which, if you're just starting out your Lizardman team, the ramping up, it's pretty severe, to be honest. Because because
you're naked on skills basically across the entire team that matter. So like it's rough, and you gotta get SPP, and you gotta get a lot of it because you have a lot of Saurus. You have 6 of them. And they all have to get 6 SPP. That's 3 injuries apiece to level up, or 1 injury and an MVP. Like, that's, if you take the time and you develop Lizardmen, they're very strong. Unfortunately, all of the teams in S either cripple the team or they beat it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
It's a really strong team. Like, I talk about it like it's like, it sounds like I'm being like poop a butthole. The team is really fucking good. It just has it's extremely xenophobic, which is funny because Lizardmen are extremely xenophobic. So they're like, I do what I do and I do it best. And that's it. Like, I'm only gonna do that.
Yeah, that's why I like the yin and yang comparison, because it's pretty accurate. You know, you have 2 units that can do one thing really well, but they can't do the other thing really well. Yeah. So
God forbid the Croxagore, dude. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. All right.
Prince Altail, dude, fuck up your dodge.
Yeah, they nerfed it a bit for Blood Bowl 3, but Tail's great, at least in this format. You ready to move on?
Absolutely.
All right, the next team we will be discussing is the Necromantic team. So their linemen, their normal guys, are zombies, which is also the normal lineman for undead, or a choice of normal lineman. And they have 40k cost, 4 movement, 3 strength, 2 agility, and 8 armor value. And they have regeneration as their skill with normal general access. These are your damage sponges, you know? You put them on the line, you know, they're going to take the damage, and they take it actually pretty well. So, you know, they're not going to be moving, they're not going to be carrying the ball, but, you know, zombies are good on the line. Then you have the ghouls, which are 70k cost, and you get 7 movement, 3 strength, 3 agility, 7 armor value, with general and agility access for your normals, with dodge, and very quick lodge piece you can get on this team, and are crucial to any this team or the undead team, since those two rosters are so comparable. Super crucial part. They do not get regeneration, so you do have to be a little careful about where you position them.
Ghouls?
Yeah, the ghouls.
Okay, sorry, I spaced out. I was looking at prices on Blood Bowl.
All right, yeah, no problem. The next unit is the Whites, which is 90k cost, and it has the human lineman stats 6338 with its normal rolls being general and strength, and it gets block and regeneration. Very great, a very good blitzer piece. Can basically do it all, and you know it's good to have that, especially when you have an interesting team like the undead teams where they usually either have an agility minus or they usually have lower movement. The Whites are a great piece to have, and especially with the regeneration, they won't be going down that much. And then the next two units, which makes this team specifically unique, other than not having skeleton than undead, is the Flesh Golem and the Werewolf. So the Flesh Golem is 110,000 costs, and you get 4 movement, 4 strength, 2 agility, and 9 armor value with general and strength as your normal, same as the white, but it has regeneration stand firm, which is a very interesting ability. It basically means whenever someone blocks you, you can choose not to like get moved over. So it's a great piece for marking and a great piece for the line, and also thick skull. And the last, and certainly not least, unit on Necromantic is the Werewolf, which is 120,000 value, 8 movement. That is an absurd amount of movement, but you still get the 8 movement with 3 strength. That is absurd already, but you get.
Stop hating! Stop hating!
I'm saying it's good. 3 agility.
The salt. You're like, how come they get it? The mummies can shit out. Fuck you. That's why.
3 agility and 8 armor value, and it has general agility for its normals, and with the interesting skills regeneration, which is good to have on any of your pieces. Frenzy and Claws. Well, so essentially what Claws does, it's a mutation ability, even though there's no mutation access for this team. They do have Claws, and essentially what Claws means is that screw your armor value, I don't care what you are, I don't care who you are, your armor value is now what I choose it to be, and that armor value is a 7. So...
it's whatever the fuck you think it is, -1.
Yeah.
For now, and then I level up and it's -2, bitch.
Yeah, so... Werewolf, a very, 8 movement and 3 strength, a really good piece. One of the bigger flaws of Necromantic is the 70k reroll price, but overall, a very strong team, and I would put Necromantic probably around here, around the A's.
I'll be with you in 2 seconds.
Alright, he'll be with us with 2 seconds. So I'll do on my side rant. You ready for my side rant? Here's my side rant, alright? Necromantic is not as good as undead, and it's not close. Skeletons are a lot better than zombies, but just by value-wise of stats.
Okay, hold on, that's fucking wrong.
All right, he's back. All right.
Well, that's fucking wrong.
Side rant over. All right, where would you put Necromantic?
We'll get back to that, motherfucker. Oh no, it's A as fuck, and it's above humans.
All right, yeah, that's what. It would
so this is my pet team for sure. Meme intended. So this is my Kislev. The werewolf, because I know you're gonna shit on it. The werewolf doesn't have undead. You could kill the dog. No one cares.
It does have regeneration.
One dog that's a murderer and one dog that's a ball carrier, and you can transfer one of your fucking ghouls into like a harassment player. Bro, the goddamn Necromantic is so fun. It's so fun and it's so simple. Jesus Christ, my nose. Sorry. It is very, 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 very important that when you're playing Necromantic, you remember that zombies can eat a dick. You have skeletons. Why the fuck would you use zombies? You have 1 token zombie for 1 reason.
Wait, for Necromantic?
Yeah.
There's no skeletons on Necromantic.
No, for undead.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
You have one token. You have 1 token zombie for 1 reason, because you just get kick on it.
Yep.
That's it. Yep. Skeletons are by and large better.
Yep.
Because they have fucking thick skull. Thick skull is fucking magnifique.
Yeah. So essentially, since we've actually seen thick skull quite a bit, but we've never actually explained it, and it's on the Flesh Golem, so it's relevant. So essentially, what thick skull is so on your injury rolls, right? When you roll 2 dice, probability says the most consistent, 2 rolls you probably see the most is 7 or 8. Thick Skull says, wow, you know what? That kind of sucks that you're going to roll 7 or 8. Huh, champ? So essentially, 7s, which would usually be a knockout roll, they are become a stun roll, which is very useful. And your 8 rolls, which usually is an injury roll, become a knockout roll. Which I mean, it's you just because of how probability works of rolling 2 dice, that is so useful. Just an extra layer of tankiness where most people would not have that layer of tankiness. So anyway, that's Thick Skull. You can continue.
If we're comparing the differences between undead and necromantic, because this is important, the difference is that necromantic, as their poster unit, as given by the card there, has dogs. Big old werewolves. And undead has access to mummies. The werewolf is better than the fucking mummy. The difference maker is the goddamn skeleton.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I agree with that.
The werewolf is a fucking great unit. It's super fucking good. I'm so tired of pretending that fucking undead players are talking shit to me because the mummy is so much fucking better that I have flesh golems. I don't give a shit about that mummy. Fuck that mummy.
No, I 100% agree.
Mummy and a zombie? A flesh golem and a zombie? I'm punching your fucking mummy to the dirt. Fuck that mummy. And your mummy can't get up and go anywhere. You know who can go somewhere? My flesh golem. He's sick as fuck.
Yeah. I agree with that, but I will say I think the skeleton zombie difference is actually quite large.
It is massive.
Like,
and that's why undead's better.
Yeah, depending on where we put undead later, there's gonna be a clear divide between necromantic and undead, just because
it's gonna be undead right under that dark elf team.
I don't think so. Well, we'll see. That's later. It's later. But anyway, any other thoughts on necromantic?
I covered the flesh golems being sexually superior. Whites are, dude. Never let it be said, whites got massacred in the new Blood Bowl edition. I'm super fucking mad about it. Whites have hands in this game, y'all. They can pick the ball up, and they have 3 agility. They're just as fucking good at it as the goddamn ghoul.
Yeah.
The only difference is the ghoul can run a little bit faster. The white is great. The white is a great unit. It's a backup ball carrier. Not you need it on this team, but on dead, that's super important.
Yeah.
It's a backup ball carrier. It has the ability to hit people. It has good level ups. The white is a clutch unit.
No, yeah, 100%.
It's a superstar, bro. It's the backbone of this fucking team, and there's not enough of them on any roster.
Yeah,
I love it. I love this team.
Yeah, I wish.
As fuck.
Dude, I do you know how much I would play a 4 white team, man? Oh my god.
Dude, if we got 4 whites, you know they should give us 4 whites in the new Blood Bowl edition because they don't have hands anymore. You took our hands away.
Yeah, might as well.
My white looking down like, where'd my hands go?
Turning them into blitz raws, man. What gives?
Dude. Sorry, that's ran over. I really love this team. Yeah. I'm a big werewolf guy, for anyone who doesn't know.
You know, this is like kind of off video, but it's kind of relevant. You know how you said you got the 1 punching werewolf and then you got the 1 ball handling werewolf? Well, remember where we did that, like, 1 league? I know it didn't finish, but, you know, we had a couple games. I played Necromantic. One of my werewolves got the movement up, so he was movement 9, and the other one got strength. So he rolled a 12, so he got 4 strength too, so that was just hilarious.
Yeah,
also,
dude, werewolves can fuck. They can fuck people up because you get claw, mighty blow, right, stuff like that, and then you end up pylon, and you end up being like, you push for the first one because you have frenzy, and on the second hit, you knock them fucking down with a +2 to the damage roll, to the injury roll. And you just fucking jump on them if it doesn't work. You have essentially 2 chances at a +2 to injure somebody. They're so fucking good at it. Werewolves, baby. We're in here. The biggest problem with this team is that it is expensive as fuck.
Yep.
It's so expensive. Werewolves, expensive. Flesh golems, expensive. Whites, expensive. Rerolls,
expensive. Which is another thing Undead has on the Necromantic is that Undead, they can manage the TV creep a lot better in Undead. For Necromantic, you're not even gonna get all your like star players yet, and you know it's very easily to see the cost creep up.
So you can level it up.
Yeah, so yeah, it's another weakness for Necromantic. Plus the rerolls are expensive, so overall more expensive team, but fun to play with, and they have great positionals. So you ready to move on?
Hell yeah.
All right, next we have the Norse. So essentially what the Norse are is that they're humans, but they have block on all their players. And in trading for block on most of these players is that they have lower armor value. But they
I
have
thought you were gonna say humans but naked. I'm not gonna lie to you.
that is a actually accurate comparison, to be honest.
They're humans but naked.
They're
yeah.
naked humans with block. So
My man's out here with his balls swinging in the frigid air. He's like, throw me the ball. I'm like, you already got two, bro.
yeah,
They're on the grass.
yeah, on the first two videos we hammered the block stuff to death, or at least I did. So I'll just go over the players. So you got the normal linemen besides the Oathwarner and the Yeti.
Yeah.
You got the linemen. They're 650 cost. They got 6337 as their stats with general normal access, but they have block, which makes actually the Norse lineman probably one of the best, if not the most usable lineman. As a loner, as if you get a journeyman, they're usable as that because they're cheap, they don't creep the TV value that much, and just having block on your normal guy is super useful. Next,
I will still take an elf lineman over any other.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but that's
a journeyman elf is the best unit on any team.
I mean, we already said that. That's assumed. That's assumed. But,
Yeah.
but just for like what Norse is, it's pretty good. So next is the thrower, which is the same for 70k cost. You got the same stats, but you get passing access as well as the ability to pass. So you actually got a passer on the team. The next is the runner, which is actually the unit I kind of fall in love with because I really like the runner. So you get 90k cost, but you get 7 movement, which is more than the rest of the roster, 3 strength, 3 agility, and 7 armor value. But you get agility access, which is a very welcome change, which means you can easily get blodge on these pieces. And also, they have dauntless, which is actually serves to be pretty useful with these guys. Runners are probably my favorite unit on Norse.
Mine too.
Yeah,
They have a cool hat.
Yeah, they're dope.
That matters.
Next is the Berserker, which is for 90k cost. They have the same stats as their lineman, which is a little disappointing, to be honest. But their skills are block, frenzy, and jump up, which is a good mix because frenzy and jump up is the same traits as skills that the witch elf has, which is very useful. Which frenzy on 3 strength it's all right, and it's good at busting stuff, and jump up is really good.
Frenzy's really good at fucking up cages.
Yeah, and jump up is really good for these guys. So not too bad. And they have general and strength access for their normals. And then the more interesting positionals, the final two, the more expensive ones, you got the Old Foreigner, which is 110,000 gold, but you have 6 movement, 4 strength, 2 agility, and 8 armor value, and you're stuck with frenzy. And you got general and strength access. Old Foreigners are very interesting. They start out only with frenzy. They're kind of naked, but kind of like the Saurs, but they have the base stats, and they can potentially move into more stuff rather than the Saurus can. So I like the Old Foreigner. And then last is the Yeti, which is one of the more interesting big men. It's very unique. It's 140,000 cost, but you get 5 movement, 5 strength, 1 agility, and 8 armor value. And you only get strength. But what makes them interesting is that they have interesting skills, which is claws, disturbing presence, frenzy, and wild animals. Sen, would you like to explain what disturbing presence does?
Disturbing presence is a giant aura around you that shits on the ability for the enemy to pass. They take a negative to the roll, and it makes it harder for them to kind of move the ball around, basically. It's a very useful thing. The Yeti is one of my favorite bigs.
Yeah, it's very unique.
Notably, has claw.
Yeah, and has claws too. Yeah.
Dog. Big men with the ability to kill. Oh.
So just to give a general scheme of where I'd place Norse, honestly, low TV. Well, yeah, it was gonna. All right, want to spoil it? Yeah. Be below Bretonians. They have a lot of good strength, and low TV, they're a great team. But they have a really big issue when going into higher and higher TV, which is going to happen because they still have the expensive linemen, but a lot of them are frail. And once the other teams catch up with the abilities you do, since you're relying heavily on the early game block, they start getting outclassed. So that is why I would put them at B. Where would you put them?
I would put them in B, just because they're like Bretonians. This is a team that could do so much better, but it could do so much goddamn worse. Notably, Norse shits on Amazon and Amazon shits on Norse. It's a crapshoot. It's really funny. They're polar opposites. The women get the fuck out of there, and the men want to get the fuck in there. It's really good. The all block versus all dodge team is a straight up 50-50. It's really funny. But in later TVs, the ape just goes ape shit. And I'm really like, not for nothing. Anything C tier and above, even D tier, honestly, if you're playing with your friends, is perfectly viable.
Yeah.
C tier and above is perfect. Sorry, B tier and above is perfectly viable if you want to play in Champion. So Norse is perfectly viable in Champion. That's kind of the distinguishing line between B and C for me, is that it's a team that I would not play in Champ Ladder. And the difference between C and D is kind of like, I'll never play this. F is, I'm not playing this shit and you can't pay me. Like, so.
All right. Well, is that it for the Norse?
Yeah, that's it for the Norse for me, dude.
All right. Well, solid.
I'm more excited about the next one, to be honest.
Solid B tier. Well, I think this is the one where I was kind of scared. This is probably gonna be an argument. So, get ready. So, Nurgle is a very interesting team. Actually, on Blood Bowl 2, they're my second most played team. So I have had a lot of experience with the Nurgle. So just
like probably 40 hours on Nurgle.
Yeah. So good experience Nurgle coaches. So we have your lineman. It's the Rodder. It's for 40,000 cost. You get 5 movement, 3 strength, 3 agility, and 8 armor value. Actually, decent stats for 40,000. And then you look at their normals. You get mutation in general. Actually, decent accesses for a lineman. Where's the problem? Oh, he has decay. Oh, he has decay on 8 armor value. Yeah, these things are gonna die, and they're gonna die a lot.
Rodder's fucking blow chunks.
They're gonna die a lot. Decay is no joke. But you get Nurgle's Rot, which I'll quickly run down that. So Nurgle's Rot essentially is what it means is whenever you kill someone on the opposing team when you are Nurgle, their player comes back on your team as a Rodder. Yay, more Rodders. And it's good that these guys are cheap because you need as many Rodders as possible because you're going to lose a lot of them. The next player positional is the Pestigore, and for 80,000 cost, you get 6 movement, 3 strength, 3 agility, and 8 armor value, and you get the same. It's essentially alright. Pestigores are essentially just the Beastmen.
The Pestigore.
Yeah, they're the most important unit of the team probably.
A Pestigore is a pestilence Pestigore. Pestigore is the race name for the creature.
Oh yeah, fair enough. But they're essentially just Beastmen with Nurgle's Rot and regeneration, which actually isn't too bad things to have added on.
Very good.
Yeah, they will be the backbone of your team because there are some problems on this team, and it will become apparent in a bit. The next unit is the Nurgle Warrior, which the Nurgle Warriors were essentially, and the Pestigores in this, at least this series, not on the tabletop and on Blood Bowl 3, they are reskinned Chaos characters, which honestly I didn't mind. I thought that was actually dope. But
the Nurgle Warriors?
Yeah, well, how Pestigores and Nurgle Warriors are just reskinned Chaos players, which I don't mind. I thought
they are. They literally are.
I know, that's what I mean. They are. I don't mind it. I think it's dope.
Chaos, like they worship the Chaos gods. Nurgle is a Chaos god. They worship Nurgle, so they're Nurgleized versions of these Chaos units.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the.
They're not like. A reskin is like a mean thing to say.
Well, no. The reason why I say that is because they changed the design for Blood Bowl 3, and I personally,
did they
I personally do not like the designs for Nurgle and Blood Bowl 3.
I'll check it out because I definitely bought it while we were recording.
Yeah, I don't really like them that much. But anyway, back to the players. We should at least finish that. You get 4 movement, 4 strength, 2 agility, and 9 armor value for 110,000 cost, and you get the general strength and mutation access on your normals, and you get the interesting skills of disturbing presence, which we just explained, foul appearance, which essentially means that whenever someone attacks you, they want to punch your Nurgle warrior. They would have to roll a 2 or higher. So essentially, if they roll 1, they can't punch your guy. Whoop-de-doo, they wasted their action. That's pretty useful. And then they got Nurgle's Raw and Regeneration. And then the last piece, which is also a very interesting piece, is the Beast of Nurgle, which is for 140,000 cost. You get 4 movement, 5 strength, 1 agility, and 9 armor value. You only get strength in your normals, but a absolute paragraph of skills, including the Disturbing Presence and Foul Appearance, which we stated before. But they also get Mighty Blow, Nurgle's Rot, Tentacles, and Regeneration.
I don't think we've ever talked about Foul Appearance.
I just did. I did.
Shit.
Yeah. The whole can't roll 1, it wastes your turn. I just
did. You just it's really hard to block them. Yeah.
Yeah. So
they're high strength as fuck, and you're realistically only hitting it once per turn. And if you just roll a 1, you're cooked.
Yeah. The biggest problem about the Beast from Nurgle is that they have really stupid, which is the worst nega trait in the game, which essentially means if you don't have anyone next to them, they will have to roll a 4 or higher to actually do an action. And they also if they don't do that action, they also don't mark anymore. So it's most of the time it's better to not even try to attack or do something with the Beast of Nurgle. Usually, I would say just keep him as a blocking, so you can use his Disturbing Presence and his Foul Appearance and his Tentacles for good marking, and just don't, unless you are for sure, you get 3 dice and you know what you're doing, I just don't punch with these guys, because if that really stupid rolls happens, your marking is done. It hurts a lot. So Nurgle, I want to hear your opinion first before I rank them.
Oh, Nurgle's A tier as fuck.
You're okay.
Nurgle is super good. It's a really consistent defensive team that, like Dwarves and Chaos Dwarves, is able to grind the game to a fucking standstill, and they win every goddamn year. Season. It's really obnoxious. Nurgle is a hyper-effective team if you're really good at the game. If you're bad, or you're bad with Nurgle, they both apply. Nurgle sucks. It is one of the worst teams, worse than Khemri tier bad.
Yeah, positioning is so crucial.
If you are good, it is actually a top-tier team. It is a skill difference team. So for most people that are going to watch this video, it's going to be fucking D tier. The shit is A tier-ish. It's A tier as fuck. It's objectively the best team in A tier. So you can middle ground it and put it in B.
Oops. They're very polarizing. So you want to, just for your information, if you look up any Blood Bowl 3 tier list just online or on YouTube, everyone has them as the worst team in Blood Bowl 3 by far.
No, in Blood Bowl 3, I have no idea.
Yeah, but they have it. But it's the same roster as Blood Bowl 3.
But it doesn't matter. That shit changes.
Yeah, I know. It's relative.
There changes why Nurgle's good.
I know it's
relative. You know why Nurgle's great? Because of these top teams, passing team, get shit on offensively, get shit on offensively, get shit on offensively, get shit on offensively. I understand that you guys can't see what I'm pointing at, but trust that I'm not being facetious. It is really good because of the matchups it has versus the other good teams. Now, if you don't have as many teams, or you don't have the roster shakeup, anything can happen that can make this team better or worse, just depending on what's going on. For example, let's take High Elves out of the equation, not Chaos Elves, fucking Elven Union and Dark Elves out of the equation. All the elves out. Nurgle goes from A to fucking C immediately. Just by removing 3 teams that they win against. Versus if you take out Chaos Dwarf, Chaos, right? Those 3 teams, it goes to SS. It's the best team in the fucking game. It's very dependent on where and what is going on. So I'd have to play Blood Bowl 3 to figure out why people think Nurgle sucks in Blood Bowl 3.
Well, no,
but this also isn't a Blood Bowl 3 list. This is Blood Bowl 2.
Well, no, I'm not arguing here. I just wanted, I like that, what you said. I wanted to point out the relativity. So that's why I wanted to say is if you never experienced Blood Bowl 2, you should definitely try it out. Nurgle does have a lot more viability, I believe, in Blood Bowl 2, which is why you hit all the points. I just wanted to point out the relativity of it all, just because of, maybe polarizing to the Blood Bowl 3 community. So, yeah, I would probably...
Because it's matchup related, do you want to put it in, top I'm okay with top of B. I
I'm
think
fine
it's
with
like a
that, too.
disservice, but like most people aren't going to team, and it is matchup dependent. So
Yeah, I'm fine with top of B. I was fine putting them in A, but top of B works, like, honestly, just because they're very polarizing. It's a very polarizing team.
It's polarizing, and most people can't play it in general because it does require a very highly tuned coach.
Yeah, you need, because if you don't know what you're doing, the low movement across the board of this team will absolutely
I've
floor
played
you.
Nurgle 40 hours ish. I can't play Nurgle. I'm so bad.
I just, I feel like I'm doing good, and then I just get overwhelmed. So yeah, I know where exactly. I mean, the low movement, you get overwhelmed at certain points. Yeah.
Every game is a fight. You gotta like really like you can't play Nurgle at 4 in the morning when you're fucking exhausted. You can play every team above it at 4 in the morning when you're exhausted. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and not to mention offensively, they're one of the weakest teams. So
like below Khemri level. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it for this episode of the tier list. I was your host Macho, and with me was Sindanas as always. And
Goodbye.
yeah, we'll see you next time. Take care.